Hi, Kate. Whoa.
Oh. Hello.
Let's try that again.
Leaders from Asheville and Buncombe County.
From the newsroom to the nursery.
We're juggling a demanding career on live TV with the demands of motherhood.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Karen.
They are AnchorMoms.
Hi, Katie. How are
Karen.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. I have a big announcement, a big update. If you've been listening to the podcast,
Let's see. This has to do with something with like bathing suits, jeans.
Nope.
Give me another hint. Give me another hint.
If you are a consistent listener, you know that I turned 75 and took up a new hobby of puzzling.
Oh, you're puzzling.
Mhm.
I was going to say, I'm a pretty consistent
And-
listener, so I feel like I should know this one. That's right. You're puzzling. You're a puzzler now.
Guess what?
You finished it.
We finished it. And it was maybe my favorite day in months.
Oh.
It was
The bar,
rain.
the
it was,
bar is high, huh?
It was raining outside.
It's raining
There was
today.
nothing to do. It was a weekend. And I said, who wants to finish the puzzle? Well, first I said, who wants to work on the puzzle? Anyway, all the kids were in there. Sam was napping. Gregory was working.
Not puzzling.
Not puzzling, but we were listening to music. We were chatting. We probably worked on that puzzle, I would say 3 to 4 straight hours.
I need to get a puzzle just
We had
because
some snacks.
I'd like to play Barbies a little less in my life. And so
I mean,
would rather
it
puzzle.
was so great. Ella Ray and I were like just high-fiving and like taking on each section. And then at one point she was like, Mom, I think we need to finish this today. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I mean, I've done nothing around the house today. And she
Yeah.
was like, it's okay.
She's
Let's just
right.
do this. And it was glorious. It was glorious. We finished. It was amazing. It was
Did you
so
like
much fun.
shellac it? Or are you going to frame it?
No, actually, there's one piece missing.
There was always one piece missing, or like
We don't know.
Sam took it?
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere lost in the toys. But anyway, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think.
This is like your new. Some people knit.
Yeah.
Some
people
people-
crochet. Some people do, what is that? Sourdough bread people are doing now. Like, these like older in life hobbies that moms do. I think mine is puzzling. And it's just relaxing.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I totally get it. And it's like it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Fulfilling, or
Mhm.
like you feel like you're seeing the progress,
Accomplishing something.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What is
So
the
it's done.
puzzle of?
Ice cream cones. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. 1,000 pieces of
ice cream
Ice cream.
cones.
What's funny was that there's on the back of the box, there's other ones, similar ones, different themes. And Ellery's like, ooh, I think we should do the cocktail one next.
Oh.
So
Yes, you could
next,
have
maybe
a
we'll
cocktail
be doing
while you're
Mhm,
puzzling
mhm,
a cocktail.
mhm. It was very hard though, because there's a lot of similar pieces. It was a very hard puzzle. I'm actually like kind of shocked that we finished it, but
Well, because like, is it cones?
there's multiple layers. This is getting in the weeds. There's some cones, some glass, like sundae dishes. Yeah. But it's done. And I just, at one point, I was like, oh, this is hard. And Ella Ray goes, Mom, if we can do this puzzle,
We can do anything.
our family can do anything.
It's true.
And I was like, all right, girl, let's go.
There's that like, what's that saying? Like anything worth doing is hard, or isn't there some sort of saying out there that's like that?
Anything worth doing is a puzzle. I don't know. I don't know what the saying is.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
I
I mean,
feel
I
like-
feel like I'm waiting for my trophy. I don't know. big deal.
Not gonna like who's gonna like your kids?
I
No,
don't know.
no. Greg, I doubt it. He's probably like, why aren't the dishes done?
I know. No, I finally came in. He was doing something, and then he came in and he was like, I was like, I'm not going to lie. I've been sitting here puzzling for probably 2 hours, like the whole time we've been
He
in the
was like-
basement. And he was like, that's fine. And I was like, is it really? Like, there's so
like,
much to be done.
That's fine.
But it was at one point, he was like, so it's 5. Like, is there a dinner plan? Or like, we got to like actually start,
Doing something?
like kids need baths. Like, we got school tomorrow. Like, let's get back to it. It was very rewarding though.
I'm glad. And you got to spend time with your kids.
Spend time with the kids. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very
Okay.
successful.
Let me be the first to say congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Very proud of this honor.
Yeah. Okay. So this first article, let's get down to brass tacks here. I've had Pink Pony Club stuck in my head for the last week ever since I read this article.
It's always stuck in my head because my kids sing it nonstop.
It's so good. That's such a good song. I love Chappell Roan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you're Brian, my husband,
Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan.
That's how you know if like
the Pink
your
Pony
owner.
Club.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Do you love Chappell
Chappell
at the Pink Pony Club? That's how you know, like, that's how you gauge, like, are you over 45? How do you pronounce?
Chappell Roan.
Yeah. So guys, she sparked a little bit of debate online. You may have like
probably heard about this.
You probably did, unless you're over the age of 45. She went on a podcast and she said they were asking her about her love life, her career, the prospect of marriage and children. And she said, all of my friends who have, this is a quote, all of my friends who have kids are in hell. I don't know anyone who's happy and has children at this age. She says she has not met any parent who is, quote, happy, well-rested, or who has light in their eyes. And this divided social media just as you knew it would.
She hasn't seen me puzzling with my children.
Well, that's true.
There is some light in my eyes when I'm puzzling.
Light in your eyes while you're puzzling. That's true. That's true. Oh, Chappell, I wish you could see it. You know, I'm gonna just say this: like, she's not right, but she's also not wrong.
No. I think some of the people who were kind of biting back against this said it's just tone deaf, right? Like, if you don't have kids and you make a statement like this, you know, it just feels like it's an attack, right?
No, I don't think it's an attack.
I don't know. I think some people do. Well, maybe not an attack's the right word, but it just feels like a little bit unfair to characterize everybody, all moms, as like, oh, all moms are like gloomy and depressed and sad and not happy and have no light in their eyes and, you know, kind of lumping us all into one category. But at the same time, do I have light in my eyes every day? No.
Does anybody have light in their eyes every day?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really remember my life before kids. So
yeah,
sure.
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's trying to be honest and is just making an observation. I don't think she's that wrong. I think a lot of moms with young kids are stressed. And if you are on the outside looking in, that feels like, ugh, why would I choose to go down this path when all I see is like a lot of negative,
a lot of dead-eyed moms.
Yeah, like it doesn't look very fun. And to be honest, sometimes it isn't a lot of fun. But, you know, she's not seeing the part. I think the visible parts of motherhood may look like that. I think there's a lot of invisible parts of motherhood that you wouldn't see looking in if you're a friend, if you're someone who doesn't have kids. That is the pure joy and the reason we do it and the reason we love our children and why this is the greatest time of our lives, you know? What, is it not?
No, just the fact that you said
I mean, I think it is.
Greatest time of our lives.
I think it is. I think we will look back
and say that
this was the greatest. Like, remember when our kids were little and growing up and discovering life and their identity and who they want to be, and we just got to be with them through this magical time. I think we will look back and love this period. And I think that it's not easy to spot as an outsider.
Because they can see those like moments where you're puzzling.
Well,
like nobody's like coming over to see those moments. And it's like something that kind of happens internally. Like nobody's ever like come like on a daily basis. If we weren't podcasting right now, you wouldn't be like, hey, what's up? Is this the greatest time of our lives? Like, I would be like, what? No, it's Monday and it's raining.
And I think the other thing, which is difficult, but I think this is true, and I don't know how to combat this, but I think that it is very natural for us to complain.
Moms or you and
Mhm.
me?
Moms.
Everybody. Oh.
When we see each other, not you and me, well, sometimes you and you, me and you, but
You and I.
You and I. When we see other mom friends and even friends without kids, right? It's natural to talk about the hard parts of parenthood, the issues, the drama, to complain, I didn't get any sleep, all those things. I don't think it's natural for whatever reason. Maybe it's because it feels braggy, but you're not going to say, oh my gosh, I had the most magical moment with my child the other day.
Yeah.
Like that's not your lead sentence, right? That's not your intro when you
Maybe
see
it
mom
should
friends.
be.
It should be. I don't know how to change that, but I do think that we've kind of fallen into a trap where mom complaints are the norm. And so, especially for someone who doesn't have her own kids, I could see where that sounds
Own
louder. That what?
Own kids?
Yeah.
Have kids?
Have kids. Yeah. Yeah. Or she's borrowing. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like our grumblings and our tiredness and exhaustion and
Yeah, like that's
complaints
what most
are-
people lead with. is what
Right.
you're
And
saying.
that's the more visible part of motherhood. The
Well-
less visible part is the joy and the happiness and the things that aren't necessarily observed or celebrated as much.
Yeah. Well, and she also, some of the people who are just sort of weighing in on this, not necessarily critics, but one writer and social content creator just talks about how, and I think this is true, the internet never has any nuance, but I feel like it especially has no nuance on this topic. And I think this is true. It depends on like who you are, what you are, where you live. Socioeconomic factors come into play with, like if you are struggling to put like food on the table and, transportation to get your kid to school, that's like a much different and more difficult life than a lot of the people that you see on Instagram or what people are putting on Instagram, right? She says, I actually don't think video montages of aspirational, affluent women showing off their motherhood that they voluntarily and enthusiastically choose amongst a range of life choices does anything to counteract that reality. So it's just kind of interesting. Everybody has different experiences. And like, I don't know, sometimes like I am dead inside, to be totally honest, just because motherhood is really freaking hard and being a parent is really hard. I also think like, what age are we talking about? Chappell Roan is only 27. So is it possible that some of her kids are like, or some of her friends are in that like newborn?
Yeah, she says like kids under 5.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's the hard part.
So anyway, it's just kind of interesting. I think it's funny that people get so annoyed about it when like, who's getting annoyed about it? Are you a mom? Are they
Who's like
mom?
always happy and never complains?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like if
Yeah.
are the people who are getting angry moms, because like we all know that like you've been there. This
This is
description
true.
like exists, and you have definitely been there. So I still love Chappell Roan.
Pink pony club. So I have a mom's that is not about my children for once. Actually, it does have a tie to my children, but this is really random. But we have a new favorite snack.
Is it raisins?
No,
Okay.
no.
I hate
is-
raisins, and I feel like that. I don't know if this sounds like something healthy.
It is a little bit healthier, but not terribly. The wonderful pistachios.
Yeah.
That are already shelled. They have a lime jalapeno flavor.
Okay.
That we are obsessed with.
Are they spicy?
They are spicy.
Ooh.
But they are so good. I think we've now actually done the subscribe on Amazon because we eat so much of them. Yeah. But you can get a 11-ounce bag for $9.
Are
on
your
Amazon.
kids eating that?
So listen, here's what's funny.
was
They
gonna
are
say.
very spicy. Gregor and I love them. Sam, who's 3, is just, he's his own person. He tried them. We were like, buddy, I don't think you're going to like these. They're spicy. He tries one. He's obsessed with them.
Really?
Yes, he loves his pistachios.
Oh.
Can't really say it, but it's really cute. The funny part was we were at baseball practice and I had like the bag of kids snacks and I had those for me to snack on. And so he's, of course, eating this pistachios going around just can't get enough of them. Literally like finishes the bag. And he made this other little friend who's also 3. And I was talking to another parent and happened to look over right as he's handing this other 3-year-old a spicy pistachio. And I'm like, ooh. So I like run over to the mom. I'm like, is she allergic to anything? Like, this is like, my son just gave her a spicy pistachio. And you could tell she was kind of like, why is your 3-year-old eating spicy pistachio?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, she's not allergic to anything. It's fine. And of course she like spits it out and is like, ugh. But it was so hilarious. I'm like, whose 3-year-old is eating spicy pistachio?
There's something about like that should be like a spicy pistachio. Like it sounds
like a drink?
Like it just sounds so much more fun than like what it really is.
They are so good. They are a lot of fun. They're really
I don't like to shell them, and they're not
No,
shelled?
no, they are shelled.
They
They're
shelled.
shelled. They're shelled. Yeah. You don't have to do any work. You just pop them in your mouth and enjoy. They're fantastic.
And
so if you're looking for a little snack,
the good old AMs.
Good old Amazon. You can also get them in certain grocery stores, but I'm too like first of all, I don't walk into a grocery store very often, so I'm just going to get them online. But it's kind of, now that Sam's eating them as well, unfortunately, we're going to have to like up our subscription.
You're going to have to like ration them. Like,
yeah.
The older you are, the more spicy pistachios you get. Like Sam, you only get 3 pistachios
You get a little 4-ounce container of them that will have to last you for the week.
Right.
Okay, the next article is from The Guardian. This is very interesting. In my family, introvert-extrovert pairings are common, but I had to get to the age of 36 to learn which one applied to me. So this woman talks about how she never really realized that she was an introvert. She, for a long time, dated the same guy. He was an extrovert and kind of just flew under his wing and didn't really realize that shyness isn't necessarily the same as being an introvert. And just kind of didn't, I think, until after she had broken up with his partner, realize where she fell on this. And that was 36. She'd been with this guy for a long time. But anyway, she said she realized it because she has a 2-year-old niece who's definitely an extrovert and has no trouble with conversations. And, so she kind of talks about her whole realization of where she stands on this scale. And she also talks about her own family and how she realized that all of her siblings and everybody married the opposite. So it's always like an extroverted and introvert married together. I think there's a lot of truth to this. I know our marriage is one introvert, one extrovert. Your marriage is one introvert, one extrovert. It's funny because we talked about this with our kids recently. And it's interesting for them to kind of think through and realize, okay, am I more like daddy in this way or mommy?
Yeah.
And we definitely have, I think, 2 of each.
Really?
Yeah. But the older 2 are definitely introverts and are like realizing that. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it is something that it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because if you were both introverts, you would never leave the house, right?
I think that probably, you don't have to be somebody who does, like an introvert doesn't necessarily mean somebody who doesn't want to leave the house, right?
Sure, but I think, and that's an extreme example, but I do think that like it's nice to balance it out, right? Like I do think that it's helpful to have one person who needs one thing and the other person who needs the other, and you can kind of.
Yeah, I love the fact that Brian's an extrovert because it just saves me so much work. And he's like my saving grace at social things because I know he'll just like
take the room,
talk to people, and like I don't have to do anything. In fact, I don't even. Our neighbors are like, I'm like Brian's wife, but like Brian knows like the life story. Brian can spend like 5 minutes with someone and be like, "Did you know so and so is adopted?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, you just met them for 3.5 minutes." He's like, "Yeah." He was doing some like volunteering at River's school recently, and he was like backstage at the musical, and he was like, he got like the full lowdown on just like some of the behind the scenes stories. And I was like, wait, how did you? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just would never ask that many questions. Like I would try to avoid talking to people at all costs. And he like loves it. It's like such a amazing gift. Like everybody should marry an extrovert, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Brian and I.
Do you think Greg feels the same way about you?
Yeah,
he's like, Blessed be the day I married Karen.
I mean, I don't know if he feels that way, but I definitely think he's grateful for to be married to a partner who's an extrovert.
So nice. But also, it just feels so exhausting to me. I don't know how you people do it. Like, I'm like, ugh. It's just a lot.
I don't know. Somebody's got to do it, Katie.
I guess.
And we're bearing the cross for all you introverts.
The point is that you like it. Trust me. One time, let me tell you a Karen Zakalak extrovert story that I was like, okay, this is crazy to me.
Gosh.
I'm trying to remember what the story was. Greg you were sick maybe? And Greg was like running your kids around, and we were going to all our kids were invited to a birthday party, and like Greg showed up with like all 4 kids. And Greg was like, I just got up. Karen's like been calling me. And I was like, why isn't she like at home, like resting? He was like, I just think she doesn't like to be alone. Like she doesn't like to not have anyone to like talk to. So she's like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm like, you know what I'm doing? Like, I'm running so-and-so here. And then we're going to this like birthday party. And I remember thinking like, I mean, there's like no greater joy than when my family is not home for me. Like literally, I'm like, doing a little like dance in the kitchen, setting up the shows I want to watch, reading my books. Like, I love it.
No, I don't have that. I mean, every once in a while, I'll get a little like, 30 minutes and no one's around. Like, maybe I should fold some laundry. I don't know. I don't get the joy. I mean, Gregory is, and you're probably the same way. Like it's so draining and he gets so exhausted. And I mean, there's times when he really has to, I mean, that's the definition, right? Like you recharge by yourself. Yeah. You recharge your batteries alone. I recharge my batteries with other people.
Yeah.
That's probably why I had so many kids, so that I'd always have somebody to hang out with.
Well, I will say this, like, I don't consider myself shy at all. Like I can have a conversation and but I don't want to be, it's like very overstimulating to me. And I do not want to be around people. It's like what keeps me from doing like girls' weekends sometimes, or like going away with like other families. Like it's just a lot. Like then you can't escape it. Like there's no downtime and you have to see that person.
You need that downtime. Yeah.
Like in the mornings and at night before you go to bed. And it's just a lot for me. So kudos to you.
So I should feel grateful that we vacationed together.
Yeah.
Like made it in.
Not kidding.
Made it past the extrovert wall.
Not kidding.
Introvert wall.
Yeah.
Okay. One more article for today.
Do we still have one more article?
Yes, we do.
Still going? Okay.
Hope you're enjoying it.
Still happening? This podcast is still happening? Okay. Yeah, let's get to it. Is it me?
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. This is from the New York Post. And this one is called
You're so tired talking about
I know.
having to be social.
I just like that whole conversation just like wore me out. I need some downtime. Okay. This one's from the New York Post and it's my husband quit. This was wild to me. And also I'm like, I'm not really sure the definition, like we're getting the definition right here. My husband quit his high paying job to be a tradwife and he's great at it. I should know I used to be one. All right. So this is a woman whose husband used to work 60-hour weeks and he traded it all to be a trad husband, which, by the way, normally people think of like a trad wife, which is short or like slang for like traditional wife. And so it's gone really great for them. He loves it. He said it has saved his marriage. And apparently this is like a whole trend. 23% of men are leaving the office in order to care for families and homes. She used to stay at home. They switched roles. She says it's deepened their appreciation for each other, and experts say the same thing could happen for you too. Turning the tables allows both parties to celebrate different parts of themselves. So
I follow this person.
Oh, you do?
I followed this person for a long time.
You followed them before this article?
Oh yeah, for years.
Who is it?
Her handle is Sharon a Life.
Okay.
But we've actually talked about her on the podcast before because she's been involved in a lot of different articles and mom stuff, but they have 6 kids.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that part. 6 kids.
So one thing that because she posted about this after the article came out, it is a little bit misleading. He got fired. He didn't like voluntarily choose this. He got laid off. But she is now an influencer, so she's able to compensate his salary with being an influencer.
And does she work otherwise?
I don't think so. She used to be like a librarian or something, but
they just like make a living off her.
I think so. I mean, she's very big. Yeah. Yeah. She might have another part-time job. I don't know. But I think the majority of it is social media influencing. Which I think is, I don't know. I would love to know the statistics. I think that's some of this, right? Is like moms are finding themselves, again, not a lot, but some in these social media influencer roles and are able to either quit their job or their husband can, and then that's how they're supplementing the income. Yeah, they've got a really interesting story.
Right. They used to be Mormon? Is this the right person? Okay, yes.
And then they left the religion. But I think one of the things, and again, I think you're right. I think like tradwife. I mean,
like
are they just a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was like sort of weird because I
think the thought is like the barefoot, make it from scratch, cleaning the house all day, this old
like
school vision
that.
of what
it's like
mom
the
is.
husband comes home from work and like you serve him a martini, you make sure you're like dressed up and your makeup is perfect. Like it's that like 1950s vibe. Like let's not insult this poor man. Like maybe he's like literally just like staying at home and like taking care of their kids, like all the things that like whoever is staying at home would have to do. Why does he have to be like a trad husband?
Agreed. I think that we need to like say that, I do think there's a bit of difference between somebody staying at home with the kids and this trad wife label.
Traditional wife label.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so.
I don't think that everybody falls into that category.
Yeah.
But I think if it can work for your family, great. I'm impressed by the 23% of men staying home and helping. I do think that even if this isn't practical, but if you could switch for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, and really understand what
the other person is doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would make a huge difference because I think that's so much of it is there's that invisible load that you just aren't aware of unless you're the one doing it.
Right.
Right. I mean, even when I think about it, I mean, I couldn't write down all the things I do. You know what I mean? Like there's so much that goes on that like you just don't, unless you're living it. And it would take me completely stepping out of that role and handing that over to my husband, I think, for him to say like, oh, wow.
But I think
realize
it's not like you're like a stay-at-home mom. So it's not like you're like trading, like what you're talking about is just like things that specifically fall to moms. Like just because you're like a stay-at-home dad doesn't mean that you're going to pick up the mental load of like.
But I think that's what this is inferring. And I think this particular guy has. I think that he is doing like all of the chores and all of the things. I can't imagine.
Like Brian does chores. Like he'll do the dishes. Whenever we have a dishwasher, which it's been 6 months, obviously, he'll like load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher. It's like all the other things and I love him, but I just don't think I don't think he'd be good at it. I don't think he has like making the costume for the musical.
Right.
Like, no.
But I think this guy is. I don't think
really?
Yeah. And I only know that because I follow them. But I don't think every stay-at-home dad would.
I just don't think it would be like in his wheelhouse. He would be like, I don't know how to do that. Like sometimes River, this is just like such a like prime example. River likes this like carnation instant breakfast sometimes. And you have to like, it comes in a powder and she'll like drink it before like a soccer game or something like that. And I just like, because I've been doing it so long and I know it doesn't really matter. Like I just like dump a couple spoonful and stir it up. Brian, if he has to do it, will like, get the measuring cups out. And I'm like, what are you like, what are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? It just like, as a mom, I feel like some of this stuff just comes like sort of it's just like comes innately, but he's like, so like unsure of
and you do it all the time.
Right.
But if he did it all the time, he wouldn't have to do that.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just really funny to me. Like, or like I'll make like mac and cheese, like when we're on vacation and he'll be like if he has to do it, he'll be like,
How much butter?
And I'm like, what do you mean? You just like dump it all in. Like, why are you thinking so much about it? It's just funny. Like, I just don't think that he would thrive in that space. And I mean, I just will say this, like, I can't imagine. I don't know. I can't imagine. He's going to be insulted when I say this. And if you're a man, you're going to be, I feel like I could do some of the things that he does in his like dad role better than he could do some of the things that I do in my mom role. I'm sorry. You should see Karen's face right now. She's looking at me like, I can't believe you just said that.
I get it. And I don't disagree.
Single. Let me just tell you something. I was like single till I was 31. Like, who do you think did all of that?
But so was Brian.
Yeah, but he didn't have a kid. Like, he wasn't like doing.
Well, you didn't have a kid when you were single.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, but I did do,
you were both single for a long time of your life.
But I
before.
did like some of the rules that, like, sometimes I have to remind him of that. Like, what do you like? Yeah, like I can just, for example, my sister and I are going on vacation next month together. We're going to London, okay, for a couple of days. And Brian usually is, and I'm a planner, but Brian like surpasses me in planning skills. And so for our big vacations, he always like does all the planning. And he's like, what are you going to, like, how is all this coming together? Are you like, is this trip like planned? Did you, but I was like, yes, I've like booked everything because like, hey, remember like 10 years ago, I didn't have a Brian out there doing this kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like but neither of us were like doing the kids stuff. Like he's never had to do that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, you both were single for a long time.
Yeah.
And
well,
taking
that's
care
why
of
he
things.
can do like he, Brian can do laundry.
Right.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not like he's like not totally adept at that kind of stuff. But like, I just don't think he can make a costume.
I think the biggest thing is just to realize what you can and can't do and try to make it as equal as possible. Like if you can't do XYZ, say, you know what? I know you're going to pick up that. Let me pick up the things that I do well, or also the things that we both can do easily. Like the dishes you don't need to have a skill for.
Or like I think as long as everybody's okay with understanding their roles. Like I said, like I make the doctor's appointments, the dentist appointments, the scheduling. Like as long as everybody's okay with like how you've divided and conquered that, I feel like it's okay. I don't think Brian's going to become a trad wife anytime soon.
No, I don't think either of our husbands would
thrive in that space.
But I do think there are some men who can, which great for you.
Oh yes, I think so too.
I don't think we married those men, which is fine.
You're so like, what's going on over there today?
Well, no, I just think that I don't know.
Where's the spice? What's going on?
I just don't think that I'll be honest too, Katie, and I will say this might make you mad. I don't think either of us would be very good at relinquishing the control
over like some of that stuff. I've said this all along, and you will agree with this because I've heard you say this many times. I would just like somebody to say, thank you for managing.
Yes, same. But I'm just saying the reason I'm giving them a little bit of slack is because, yes, I agree with everything, but I just think that at the same time, I think that both of us are the type of people that we kind of want and need to be making the appointments, keeping the schedule, keeping the calendar, doing some of the planning. I would like it to be appreciated for sure, but I do think that some people are better designed to take the back seat. And let me
just say this. I hope neither our husbands are listening to this conversation because I know Greg and Brian would be like, the back seat?
Am I wrong? I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying like, no, somebody's got to be the one who's like doing most of the things. And
well, I will say this at this point, if Brian started like scheduling things, I would be like, what? Who's doing what? What are we doing? Yeah. What are you doing?
Well, you talked about who's, people's strengths. Like I think Gregory would say like, oh yeah, I can't be in charge of the calendar. Like I can't multitask. I can't be in charge of planning things and remembering things. Like that's you. Yeah, which is fine. Again, I think we just need to like have clear designations of who's doing what.
And say thank you to each other. I will say this, Brian, like I said, Brian is not like some weakling who can't do things for himself.
Neither is
like,
Gregory.
Could he survive without me? Certainly. Would it be tough? Yes.
I don't know. Do you have a win? Is it how much you love your husband?
I do love him. I do. I do love him. No, I do love him.
We both
He
love
knows
our
things.
husbands.
These are constant conversations that I have all the time.
I think these are things that most women,
Yes.
especially in your 40s with young children,
Yes.
everybody has some version of these
Yeah.
conversations, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's like constantly evolving, all of these things,
Sure.
right? Like you're
Mhm.
still, everybody's like trying to figure it out. It's not like before you got married, you were like, okay, who's doing the dentist appointments, you know?
Right.
I don't think so. Anyway. So my win is that it's the off season for the musical. We did the musical.
Oh, yes.
If you listen to the past couple of episodes, I had to like make a shirt for this musical. River was a fish.
She looked great, by the way. I saw it. It was wonderful.
It was just a lot. It was a lot. Like the final Saturday night performance, like afterwards, like all the parents were like,
Whew.
it's done. I'm going to say this. River loves this musical like nobody loves these musicals. So her elementary school does a musical every year, and it's like literally the joy of, she's in first grade. She's in it for like 3.5 minutes, but it's like
So great.
it's so big to her.
Aw.
And mostly because I think she likes hanging out with
The older kids.
the other kids.
Mhm,
Yeah. It's like a
mhm.
social event for her, but she really gets into it. She really likes to sing. It is so funny. I'm like, every year when it wraps, I'm like, we made it through. They start
Mhm.
practicing in October.
It's a long season.
It's a really long
Mhm.
season. And so once again, we have triumphed through the
Congrats.
Yeah, it was really cute. This year was really good. They did The Little Mermaid, and it was really, really good. And
I
your
love
kids
it.
saw the other. Did you see The Little Mermaid?
I did. Yeah. It's hilarious
This
to me that
elementary
multiple.
school, right? The other elementary school in town also did The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. It's like the hot musical.
Hot ticket.
Yeah, it was great. It was really cute. Yeah, it's a lot to ask these kids, and especially kids of all different ages.
Correct.
You know, 6 to 11. I mean, that's a big age range of kids who are acting and singing and
River's
memorizing.
school goes up to
and-
8th grade. So
yours is even higher.
So it's even higher.
Mhm.
And I got to give credit where credit is due to like these teachers, the music folks at River School.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know how they do it.
I will just say this. We cannot get Bennett to sit down for dinner, like in her chair for a 20-minute meal.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how they get all of these children to like stand in the right place and do the right movements and like sing the song.
They do it, and it's great.
I don't understand how they do it.
It's so great, and it's so sweet. And we'll see where our
Do you think
musical road takes
she's
us.
like gonna be a big time actress someday? I mean, do you feel like she's really got a natural ability here?
I mean, sky's the limit, right? I don't know.
Can't
We'll
Can't
see. I'll keep you posted.
All right. We hope everyone has a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Anchor Moms is a Sinclair podcast produced out of WLOS in Asheville. We're your hosts, Katie Killen and Karen Zakalak. Anchor Moms is edited by Matthew Yates.
For more information on the topics discussed in this episode and to stay up to date on future episodes, follow us on Instagram at AnchorMoms.
You can follow Anchor Moms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Know a parent who could benefit from this week's Anchor Moms episode? Your recommendations help our show to grow, so spread the word.